I'm going to hit go live. Okay, it says we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Let's see. And all right. It says that we are live on the YouTube for the September 2021 Westlake Charter School Wave Coffee Talk. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Ike, and I'm the Executive Director of our Westlake Charter School. And let's see, right above me is our high school principal.
Hi, Mrs. Batten, principal of our Westlake Charter High School.
And right above her is the Vice President of Business Affairs for our Wave team.
Hi, I'm Rosia Owens. Yes, Vice President of Wave.
That's right. We are your Wave Coffee Talk team. We are super excited to get the show started. We will start this show the way we start every Coffee Talk, and that is starting with celebrations. But before we dive into our celebrations, I want everyone at home to know how you can celebrate along with us. We always celebrate first, then we present some information, and then we do kind of a Q&A. At any time throughout the show, you can open up any URL browser and type in wcsinfo.cc/Coffee Talk, capital C and capital T, and it'll open up a Google form, and you could just pop in a celebration. You could throw in a question, anything you've got from the YouTube audience that you want us to respond to live on there. We would love to hear from you. Hey, every drop a celebration, because we'd love to hear your celebrations right now as we open the show. So anything not answered live during the show, if we ran out of time or something, we would make sure it gets answered out there in the Westlake Weekly. This is how you enter your celebration. So this is your celebration here. Make sure you are entering at wcsinfo.cc/Coffee Talk. Let us know what you're celebrating out there, Westlake Charter School, because we'd love to hear from you. Okay, team, are you guys ready to do our celebrations? All right, let's see who has got the first. Oh, Mrs. Batten, you want to talk a little Link Crew from Westlake Charter High School?
I do. I think that, if you're a podcast listener or Westlake Weekly reader, you've probably heard us talk about Link Crew, and we're going to have a later celebration about our middle school sister program, Web. So Link Crew kicked off our high school year, and it was a time for our ninth graders to come together to meet their Link leaders in a fully built high school. 9th through 12th grade, your Link leaders would be your 11th and 12th graders. But we have ninth graders, and so our adults on campus, every adult on campus led a Link Crew group, and it was just such a wonderful way to start the year. We had students coming in who had known people that they had known since kindergarten, and we had an equally large group of students who didn't know anybody, and they all came together, got to know each other, build community, and so we are excited to continue doing Link Crew activities throughout the year to build that community as a team.
Yeah, those community building activities you guys are doing, you can feel the vibe on campus. When you walk through this campus, kids who've been with Westlake forever, kids who just got here are gelling up, finding each other, making great relationships. The campus has such a nice feel. Great work to the Link Crew team. Oh, I get this one. I'm so excited about this. So it's about the time of year where we should be launching field lessons, and some of our class or grade levels have started to launch field lessons. Now, they're still virtual at this point, but I love that we open with this one because it's got a very special place. This is a picture of Mrs. Harold Jones's class doing a first grade field lesson excursion out to Sutter Fort, but the presenter on the screen is Mr. Jones, married to Mrs. Harold Jones. So here we have a dream team couple presenting the field lesson from Sutter Fort to our amazing first graders right there. It was so much fun to see this launch. Actually, they did another one today. This was from yesterday. But very happy to see field lessons getting up off the ground. Maybe we'll have some actual in-person field lessons at some point this year. That would be amazing. Ms. Batten, you want to talk athletics?
I'd love to. And if I can just do a in the moment celebration, I think just hot off the presses. Sorry, we had our girls volleyball team who was pictured here at a different game play tonight at Sacramento Country Day School. And we just learned that they won both of their games and took both their matches and took the game. And so I was racing from that game to come jump on the Coffee Talk tonight. And that team is just coming together, this freshman team, their communication, their team spirit, their support for each other, and support for the players. They're versing each match. It's just tremendous to see for a team that's only been playing together since July. Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about what happens to this team in 4 years. And then an equally exciting celebration when we talk about Explore Athletics at our high school, our cross country team. So you see them at their first meet at Sierra College. That team has started off and was Ms. Dr. Galloway, our coach, Coach Galloway, was like, it's a smaller team. And we just watched it over the past few weeks gain momentum. And now we're up to, I think, 13, 14 runners. And they are just doing an amazing job as well. At meets, they're running each other in to the finish line and just again, showing that explorer pride. And we are so proud of all of our athletes. And we also have our boys soccer team that is gearing up for their first game in a couple weeks. Yeah. And so sports are happening and alive at Westlake Charter School.
Yeah, it's so great. It's such a positive experience for the students. I love that you guys brought Everest to the little cardboard cutout out to the cross country. I mean, that's great. I love that. I love this celebration. Mrs. Owens, will you take this one?
I would love to. This is, one of the things about, like you said, we have Everest, the cutout over there. This is the first year that we have a mascot, and it's been so excited for all of us to have it. And then I love how our teachers have been celebrating that we have a mascot and getting the kids involved and creating art around Everest. And it's just been really, really exciting. I know my 5th grader has been coming home whenever she has art. It's like, we continue doing our Everest project. And it's been so exciting. And so I just love seeing all the pictures of all the things that the kids are doing.
I love it. Everest in a starry night. That's a great little project right there. I see a future spirit shirt right there, my friends. There's some, the students always draw the spirit shirt. Maybe we'll get an Everest one. I love it. I love it. Hey, the sister program to Link Crew is Web. Ms. Batten, you want to take that one for us?
I'd love to. So WEB is where everyone belongs. One of my favorite acronyms. It's just such a wonderful description of what this program does. So WEB has been a program that we've had on our middle school campus for, I can almost say, several years now. And we talked, I think, last year about how it went virtual and continued to support our incoming 6th graders. So the idea behind WEB is that as 6th graders transition, even though you may think, oh, they're on the same campus, why do you need something to help them transition? It's a different world going to middle school. We want to honor that transition and ensure that they are equipped with the tools they need to be successful. WEB, similar to Link Crew, pairs up our incoming 6th graders with a set of WEB leaders who create that community in 6th grade. And we're looking at pictures from their orientation day. So similar to Link Crew, we had a full orientation for our WEB students. But then just a couple days ago, they all gathered on the field outdoors, socially distanced, and had a really lovely lunch. I have a 6th grader who was like, I got to see my WEB group today. And so it's just so fun to see these relationships continue to build and support our 6th graders throughout the year. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the amazing leadership opportunity for our 8th graders. We always talk about WEB being for the 6th graders, but the leadership growth that our 8th graders or WEB leaders have is amazing. I know Mrs. Hughes who is not with us tonight, but has a WEB leader in her household and has just shared what an impactful program that's been for him.
Yeah, it is really the secret is that the WEB program is for the 8th graders to grow as leaders. It's so powerful for them. It's wonderful. Hey, I'd just like to shout out our base program, before and after school Explorer program. They've even opened up the base room at lunch. You can see these kids playing ping pong on the new ping pong table that's in the base room. Base has grown this year and is trying some new things, and just really excited about what's happening out there. If you have if you've gone to base in the past but haven't been there in a while, check it out again. The kids are really digging it. I'm loving what we're doing. I'm so grateful that we have a safe place for our students to be after school, for those families who need a place for their student to go. Mrs. Owens, you want to talk a little back to school night?
Yes, this is one of my favorite times during the back to school night. And I just want to celebrate our teachers. They did such an amazing job putting all the materials together and giving a great virtual presentation. And it was really fun just to get to meet our teacher and then, looking at the little screens, who else is here, trying to see all the parents and trying and waving at people, saying hello. And so it was really great. But I just, I celebrate the teachers did just such an amazing job of putting together the presentation and introducing themselves to us, the parents, and letting us know what the kids were going to be learning throughout the year. And just kudos to them. It showed the dedication and the hard work that they put in. And this was a virtual event, and after a long day of teaching in person. So just very thankful for all our teachers, and it was a great night.
It's good. It's good. Yes, I love me some back to school night. Hey, Ms. Batten, are there any celebrations in the forum?
There is one.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. I'll give you a chance to guess who it might be from.
Well, probably Ms. Johnson because she's like the best.
It is. I feel like every time I see her celebrate first and kick us off on these events, I'm always like, we should find a way to celebrate her before she gets to celebrating us.
We'll build a Carissa Johnson slide one day and put it in the deck. That's a great idea.
I love it. I love it. So she just, coming off our sports celebration, she wants to celebrate high school sports. She said sports are more than a fun activity. They build culture and support the social and emotional health of our children. Our coaches are wonderful. Thanks to our volleyball coaches, Coach Satoa, Coach Folden, and Coach Gruenholtz, and to our cross-country coach, Coach Galloway. And even Ms. Johnson doesn't have a boys soccer player, but I'll shout out Coach K for boys soccer. And they're all amazing. And then she said, as is Mrs. Batten, which is a little embarrassing, who makes all the events after spending the day leaving the school. And it really, I've gotten to go to several of these sporting events, and it is just, there's nothing better than watching our Explorer athletes take the court, take the field, take the course. So thank you, Ms. Johnson, for recognizing.
Yeah, I think we definitely know that sports is a protective factor in the lives of young people, and so it's so great that we have this opportunity for our kids. But high quality teachers make the classroom, high quality coaches make the courts and the fields, and the names you just rattled off, those are some Westlake All-Stars right there. I mean, those Dr. Galloway's in the classroom in the 9th grade. Melissa Gruenholtz is our operations director. Maddie Folden's a second grade teacher. Miss Sotoa has been here at Westlake for, I think, longer than I have. Like, these are some just incredible people. So I love that we have that program led by those people.
Dr. Ike, I'm getting some feedback from our viewers that maybe the volume's running a little low tonight. I'm not sure. Saying a little hard to hear.
Let me see if I can crank this up here live on the spot. Hey, if you're out there in the YouTube landia, tell me if that just got louder. Of course, I just spoke up a little louder.
We can also talk louder too, I guess.
Yeah, if I just cranked up the volume on this little digital mixer. Let me know if it got louder. Somebody use the form and let us know. That'd be great. Okay, let's go. We got a couple more celebrations here. Hey, Mrs. Batten, you want to talk a little joyful physics learning?
Absolutely. So I think we've got a couple examples of joyful learning. I think, Dr. Ike, whenever we get to do tours, I think both of us separately celebrate our core value of joyful learning as one of our favorites. So you see on the screen some physics students testing cars and testing velocity. On the right-hand side of the slide, we've got some of our 8th graders who are doing a presentation on colonies and trying to convince willing 5th graders to join their colony. And so, in this space where we are back on campus and getting to learn how to navigate being on campus and maintaining health and safety, it's just great to see these joyful learning opportunities happening still on our campus.
Yeah, it's good. It is wild to say now that we're back on campus. Like, oh, that's right. We spent so much time away. And the last piece I'd like to celebrate is our community teamwork. We launched our traffic campaign. It's been a 2-week educational campaign for our community to work together on just making sure we're respecting all the traffic laws, parking responsibly, and using the crosswalks around our K-8 campus especially. We have 1,000 students coming and going here every single day on this campus. And so, refreshing our ways to Westlake and our traffic campaign, really important to us. And so we just want to say thank you to everybody that's gotten involved. Now, I've been out there every day with a yellow vest. We've had sandwich boards all over. Hey, a lot of that's educational. We're going to pull back, and you're in charge now, Westlake. So even though I'm not standing on the corner, let's please still use those crosswalks and, respect all the laws and park responsibly. We'll probably bring those sandwich boards back out there for some reminders throughout the year because I know we go into October break or Thanksgiving break when we come back. Sometimes we have to relearn and remember. So we'll be out there again. But thanks, families. You've done a great job of collaborating around, making it safe around our school. Hey, Ms. Batten, any other celebrations out there?
No new celebrations, just confirmation that volume is indeed better now.
Oh, good. Thank you, whoever is letting us know that. That's great. Well, hey, I'll leave the link up there on the screen on the YouTube side. Anyway, please, if you got a celebration or a comment on any of our slides, chime in, families. We would love to hear from you. Who's up first on the coffee talk? Let's see. We've got. I think it's me. So if you're out there in YouTube land, you probably have heard us talking a little bit about like, hey, would you like to be a substitute teacher? How about a substitute yard duty? Could you be a substitute instructional aide? And you may be thinking, wait a minute, where have all your staff gone? We are fully staffed. We have 100% staffing, kindergarten through 12th grade. Every single position on our chart is full, and we have the best people in the business. We're so proud of them. But there is a national education staffing shortage right now, and we're really seeing it hard hitting here in California. The California Department of Public Health has really encouraged symptom awareness for students and for staff. So we've been telling our students, hey, if you got new symptoms that are COVID symptoms, please stay home, take the day off, come back when you're symptom free. Well, that's not just for students. That's also for staff. So when a student comes home, we don't need to call a substitute student, although that's an interesting topic, but we don't call a substitute student. But when a teacher's out, we have to have a substitute teacher. Well, substitute educators are in high demand in California for this reason. Because if some of our staff have to stay home because they have symptoms, well, we're surrounded by schools and they're all responding to the same California Department of Public Health recommendations and guidelines. And so at a time when there's the least amount of substitutes in the pool we've ever had, we have the most amount of people staying home. So it creates this really interesting opportunity for us to say, well, what can we do about this? We can demonstrate what's possible when school and community collaborate. We put out in the Westlake Weekly a link that says, click here if you think you might be interested in being a substitute teacher, a substitute yard duty, a substitute instructional aide, and the responses have been fantastic. We're so proud to collaborate with our community. So as you listen to this moment right now, if you're listening and you think, gosh, I couldn't do it every day, I couldn't do it every week, but maybe once a month I could come out there for a couple of 3-4 hours. If that's something you think you can do, I want you to click on the link in the Westlake Weekly and say, I can do it, but Mr. Ike said I can do it like once a month for 3 or 4 hours. If you've got a college degree and you took math, English, science, social science, there's a good chance that you can waive the California Basic Educational Skills Test and just get the application filled out for your credential, and you get a 30-day substitute credential. And Westlake will walk you through the process. We'll help you out financially with the cost of applications. Fill out that form and say, yeah, I might try out being a substitute teacher once in a while. Or you're like, Dr. Ike, I don't want to go through the hassle of getting the whole credential. Well, you don't need a credential to be a substitute yard duty or a substitute instructional aide. And if you become a yard duty, we'll give you a really good looking yellow vest. Might even get you a whistle, tweet, tweet, and you get to be on campus. Which, who doesn't want to be on campus? This is awesome, right? Like, everybody's wanting to be on campus. Guess what? You can come on campus and we'll pay you for it. We'll pay you to come to our campus and hang out with some kids at lunchtime and passing periods and whatnot. So, hey, we're just reaching out because, we demonstrate what's possible in school, community collaborate. That is part of our mission statement. And we really need you right now, families. We need to collaborate around this because there are, as you can see on the screen, there are schools out there as close as Sacramento, Stockton, who are closing classrooms, closing grade levels. We've had schools in California close, not because of the number of COVID cases on campus, but because they don't have enough staffing. This article right here, this EdSource article, is really cute because it's the superintendent of this district teaching like a math class, and they're like, oh, they've completely run out of people. They got the superintendent in there. Speaking of which, I was in a classroom today. I think I nailed it. I'm just putting it out there. Click on the Westlake Weekly, get involved. We'd love to have you in any capacity that you feel comfortable. This is the best part of the show right here. Our Wave Talk with Rocio Owens. We're super excited. What's happening in Wave this week, Mrs. Owens?
Sorry, the mute button. We have lots of exciting things. The one being the Spirit Store. So we have our Spirit Store is finally open, and we are so excited. We have a vendor, and we have about over 70 items in the store, which is really just, we're so excited. We have hats, we have beanies, there are magnets, different size magnets. You can choose sizes. We have the face masks and all kinds of t-shirts, and it's just really, really fun. So in the weekly that went out, the link is there for the Spirit Store, and I believe Amber also posted it in the Facebook Wave, but it's definitely in the weekly, and you can there's a link that says click here, and you can go and start browsing and getting all the Westlake gear and swag that we need.
Yeah, now, Ms. Zones, it's also on the very front page of westlakecharter.com on the slider. So if you just remember westlakecharter.com, it's there. And a true story, right? Like, so I don't have to order it and then like wait until the order's all built and we all get it on the same day like we used to do. Now, right there on the site, I order a beanie, a coffee mug, a couple of masks, a hat. I'm just telling you what I actually ordered. And then it ships right to your house. That's true, right?
Yes, it ships directly to your house. So yeah, in the past we used to wait till all the orders were in and we had volunteers that sorted everything out. Nope, it goes directly to your house now.
And the shipping seems super reasonable. You can get several items for shipped to you for what seems like a really reasonable cost.
Yes, it does. There's no free shipping just because of the vendor, but it is reasonable.
Yeah. We were noodling around with it and threw like a sweatshirt and a trucker hat in there, and it was like $6 or $7. I thought, oh well, that's pretty reasonable.
I was gonna say, I think it was like $5.99 or something like that for what I was trying to order.
I'm gonna order
and let's see what else. The Dos Coyotes fundraiser that is going to be tomorrow night from 4 to 8. And so we're super excited about that. We have lots of restaurant fundraisers coming up. And so this one is tomorrow night. You can call and mention WAVE. You can order online with the code that is there, DOSFUN, or in person and write and mention WAVE. And 20% of the sales go back to WAVE, which is, this is, I think, one of our higher restaurants that donate back, which is really great. And it's a fun, the food is great and it's fun to see everybody. The last time that we had it at Doe's, you're in line and you're ordering and you're like, hey, and it was fun to see people from the school.
I do remember last time we did it, it was packed. It was all Westlake people in the restaurant. That was great.
Yes. And then volunteers, we're always in need of volunteers. We need classroom ambassadors. And so our classroom ambassadors are for each, right, we have all the grade levels, and then we want people, classroom ambassadors is where the name we're using instead of calling room parents, because we want to be able to make sure that if a grandparent wants to do it, an uncle, brother, and anyone can do it, can be a classroom ambassador. And so they'll be the contact person for the teacher, help out the teacher, and the contact person for WAVE also to send information out. And then that parent, that ambassador will then distribute that information to the parents of each of their classes. And so it's a great job. It's I'm a teacher myself, and so I always tell my students that you need 3 exposures for something to really sink in. So oftentimes I say it's right, the lecture, and then the homework is your second one, and how do you get that third one? And I would say go to tutoring, look for that extra resource, because then that third exposure may really get it to sink in. And so I was thinking about this, and I said, well, the ambassador serves as that third exposure for the parent, because they get it in the weekly, right? Then they might see it in Facebook Wave, and then when they hear from a classroom ambassador, oh, there it is. So then different ways of getting information out to families and to parents. And the next thing is the Olympic Triathlon Fundraising Committee. So we want volunteers for that. Our Olympic Triathlon is approaching soon. And so what the fundraising committee does is it assists parents in getting sponsorships, or when parents are like, what can I do? We have a fundraising committee that kind of helps with maybe sample letters or getting, how to get sponsorships for whatever the fundraising might be, and it helps us WAVE with what kind of prizes should we get for the kids as they bring in their funds, and make it fun for everybody to fundraise and for this big school event that we have.
Yeah, this is great too. If you're new to the Westlake Charter School, this is it. We don't. Ms. Houston always says, we don't ask you to sell cookie dough. We don't ask you to do braided bread. This is it. We do one fundraiser a year. It's the Olympic Triathlon fundraiser. So yeah, we need people to help get in and organize that. That's great.
Yes, and then lastly is the scanning student cards near the bike storage gate, because we're, also to alleviate the traffic, we want to encourage students to walk, to bike. and they get credits. They get the points in their cards, and just like a trip that, hey, and also parents get notified that their student made it to school. It's through an app. So we scan, and then it gets a text message to the parent like, hey, your student made it to school. And so we need volunteers to help with that process. It's safety and encourages the kids to be active also in the morning. And
it's great to start getting some volunteer opportunities back, right? I mean, all last year we were really looking for some ways to get involved, and these are great ways to get involved. Thank you so much.
And this one also gets people on campus, right?
Exactly. These are unpaid volunteer, though. If you want to be a substitute teacher, though, it's a paid deal. I'm just saying. Hey, this has been a great report. Thank you, Ms. Owens, for filling in for Mrs. Husted. This is fantastic. Hey, I'm noticing all this cool swag on the slide. Mrs. Batten, where'd you get that cool shirt right there? Is that a new one?
It is. It's a little bit of like where a volleyball team wanted to kind of get some swag in. So
I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah, we showed up. Yep, I'm like showing it. It's very exciting. We're so excited about it.
We need individual sports swag. The volleyball, the cross country, they're all going to want their own stuff. I love it. I love that spirit. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see what's up next. I guess high school happenings with Mrs. Batten. Hey, Mrs. Batten, what's happening in high school?
Can I pause this for a second? I do have a great question coming in on the back channel.
Bring it on.
So the question, I think, from your report out, Dr. Ike, around substitute teaching. So the question is that some parents who might become substitutes may feel a little nervous about stepping up as a substitute teacher and leading a classroom if they've never done it before. And so just wanting us to talk a little bit about how people new to teaching would be supported in the classroom and not dropped in the fire yet.
Yeah, we're like,
I'm so excited for this question.
I tell you what we won't do. We won't put you in your child's class because that would be the hard. I can sub any class except for where my kids are.
Right.
Okay, such a great question. I wish I would have put it on the slide. Wonderful question. So we have an onboarding process. So you'll be onboarded on a paid part of the day where you aren't subbing. So hey, come on in. We'll pay you to come in. We'll get you some onboarding materials, teach you a couple of those cool teacher tricks that you'll need in your teacher bag of tricks. So we'll give you some onboarding resources and training. Then we'll take you into some classrooms where our expert teachers are demonstrating some of these materials. So, one great thing you need to know that you learn in Teacher School 101 is like attention grabbers. How do we grab the attention of our students that's developmentally appropriate, across grade levels? Some of the primary grades like bumpity bump bump, and all the kids say bump bump. Well, if you didn't know that, if you didn't have that in your bag of tricks, you couldn't use that. So we'll train you, onboard you, take you out, and let you see some of our expert teachers at different grade levels, some elementary, some middle school, and some high school, so that you can see these tools being used. And then as we bring you on for your first day of work, we'll make sure that you are partnered up with somebody as well. Now, having said that, like as I say, elementary, middle, and high school, you can select, which grade levels if I call you up and say, hey, do you want a substitute kindergarten? Like for some of you, that's a dream. For some of you, you're like, I'll do ninth grade. Ninth grade's fine, right? So everybody's got their different thing. You tell us what you're comfortable with. And honestly, if you want to onboard in a different way, you can sign up for subbing and for instructional aid. And as an instructional aid, you kind of get to be around a little bit and see some of these expert teachers, and that might groom you up. We might turn you into a full-time teacher. You never know. So hopefully that answers that question. There will be some paid training and onboarding and purposeful partnering as you come on board, so we don't just throw you feet first into the fire.
I would also say, I was talking to a friend who is part of our Westlake community, and she was like, I just don't know if I could sub. I'm like, I have seen you at a birthday party. I have seen you with 37-year-olds at a birthday party, wrangling them all to go from one activity to the next. And oftentimes a day of subbing can feel like that. You've got a great lesson plan clearly laid out, and you are helping guide students from one area to the next. So the onboarding day is huge, but if you worked with your kiddos and some friends before, you probably have got some skills you didn't even know you had.
Yeah. I started off my career a million years ago. Substitute teaching. That's how I got kind of hooked into edu, because I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. It's fun getting in a classroom full of kids, getting to know each other. It's a good time. All right. Any other questions out there in the back channel?
Oh, nope, that's it. I can see that we have quite a few viewers tonight. So I'll just encourage everyone, if you haven't dropped a celebration or a question in, please feel free to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. You get involved. Make it your show. All right. What's happening in high school, Mrs. Batten?
So I thought I'd take some of the most recent happenings in high school and really tie them back to our mission statement as we talk about developing our students with academic and social emotional readiness. And so I thought we'd look through the lens of academic readiness and social emotional readiness at some of the practices that we're doing at the high school, which also is a chance to share some pictures of our beautiful campus, just to be real. So I know that as we talked last year about the high school development, I went back, I think, to maybe it was our March coffee talk where we unveiled some of our college and career proven strategies, our 4x4 schedule, and namely our flex block piece. And so now that we're several weeks into having flex blocks on campus, I just wanted to talk about what that looks like and what that means, and not just in theory, but with real students and real staff making it happen. So as a reminder, flex blocks are a period of time, 4 days a week, for 50 minutes. And during that time, students are personalizing their flex block schedule each week. So if I'm a student who went into my math class and maybe struggled on a math assessment, I may go to a re-engagement flex block the next week and get my math teacher will help me, Miss Mitchell will help me catch up on those skills missing in the unit as we covered the unit. And then I would potentially go to office hours and do a retest during my office hours. So those are just the one example of what flex blocks would look like. As we talk to students about flex blocks, so I have had an opportunity to sub as well a few times, and I always take that chance. I'm like, I'm going to survey you. I'm here to sub, so I'm going to hear how it's going. And students, when they talk about flex blocks, say it feels like college. Their perception of getting a look at their data from assessments, and their social emotional data, how they're feeling, how connected they are, and then building a schedule based on that data for the coming week feels really powerful to them. And our staff are doing a great job. If you are a teacher who is taught in maybe a traditional school setting without flex blocks, the idea of 4 different groups of students coming to you for 50 minutes with different needs could be oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And our staff are leaning in and making them amazing. And it's really exciting to see. So what you see on the screen with the picture is our commons. That's a space where we eat breakfast and lunch, but it also has been a wonderful classroom space and a space for flex block usage. So small groups will go in there, for extension. So a group of students I'll use my math example again. If Miss Mitchell's watching, I apologize. I keep going back to math, but where maybe they're doing graphing right now in math, and I know she's giving some students who have been really successful in that some challenge work and problems that take that learning a little deeper. And we'll see also incorporating to flex blocks next year, honors extension. So our students are taking honors classes as well as some of our dual enrollment classwork happening in flex blocks as well. And then very importantly, that social emotional connection piece. So we had, you'll get to see on the next slide, a picture of our club rush. So we'll have, we talked last year about having club meetings during flex blocks so that students are, who maybe have after school commitments or are doing a bunch of different things throughout the day, have time to go to attend numerous different clubs. So flex blocks are happening. I can't wait to continue to update as we go through the year. It's really exciting piece of our high school schedule. As we talk about academic and social emotional readiness, I think, Mrs. Johnson's celebration around how sports are not only just fun to watch and fun to have on campus. I'll go back to clubs, Dr. Ike, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. Sorry, I know I jumped ahead to sports, but that these pieces that we intentionally build into our school schedule outside of the amazing academic program are equally as important. And so when we began developing our clubs on campus, we were sure to reach out to our students. So the club list that you see in front of you has been curated from 2 different student surveys. All of these clubs have student leaders who are running them along with an adult advisor. So you'll see we have an anime club, an art club, BSU, D&D, cooking, gaming, music, photography, space explorers, theater, LGBTQ+, Key Club, and a dance club. And the goal and objective was every freshman found a club to be a part of. So on Club Rush Day, which you see on the screen right here, we had all of our clubs with our student leader tables out, and myself and our amazing counselor and our teacher on special assignment and Mrs. Furman, for the front office, were walking around to students going, hey, have you signed up for a club yet? Have you signed up for a club yet? So every student was engaging in that process, and it's been great. We can't wait for our clubs to kick off next week.
Yeah, it's such a great piece, Ms. Batten. In the initial design of the high school, as we were building out flex blocks and talking about academic and social emotional, that club piece at a lot of schools happens for these kids. These kids get involved in clubs because they have time to get involved in clubs, or they have the inspiration to get involved in clubs. Your concept of like, hey, these are special social, emotional, building capacity spaces for every student. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to watch this grow over the years. You talking more?
And then we know that the number one protective factor for students is involvement in sports on campus and being involved and connected to their campus. And so we've celebrated sports a lot this Coffee Talk because it's a really exciting piece of our school. We're seeing our student athletes participate in practices after school. They are competing against real other high schools. I had someone say, well, are you just competing against yourselves? Nope, we are going to meets, we are playing games, we are traveling to schools. And while our games and meets have been very competitive, I mentioned that our girls volleyball team won their game today, and that has been, we've had a really successful season for our sports so far. It is also equally important in true Westlake spirit that our students are developing as truly great athletes and good people who are on that court representing our school well. Watching our girls volleyball team play, our cross country runners run. Again, I just feel so much pride for our school because it is the core values of our school being demonstrated on those courts, on those fields. And so can't wait to see you see in the far right side, boys basketball is taking off. So Coach Sterling is out there coaching our boys basketball team. Coach Amir is going to be starting up our girls team shortly. So I've got some girls who are getting geared up for girls basketball, then boys volleyball and girls soccer are right on the wings for our spring sports. So we're looking forward to a great year of sports on our high school campus.
Yeah, I tell you what, Ms. Batten, being out there watching a few of the games, being around the athletes, I think what struck me right away was that core value piece that the character of a student athlete, an explorer athlete, really shines through out there. That made me very proud. Wins or losses, like, hey, we all want to win, but the reality is, like, we want our students to, be the best version of themselves out there in the fields, in the courts. They're doing such a great job. It's funny because Rocio, I look at you and I realize you were really one of the families that was there as you built Explorer Athletics at the middle school, right? Your husband and yourself were really involved as you launched Explorer Athletics. It's got to feel good for you to see this come to life at the high school.
It's super exciting. Actually, I was just going to ask, can we come and observe our spectators allowed during this COVID? Because my husband being a volleyball coach, I said we can probably go watch a Westlake High School match. He's like, let's do it. And then we're like, wait, if they allow it.
Yeah. Batten, will you there right now? What's CIF? It's you can come watch your student.
Well, and each school's kind of been given jurisdiction over what they want to do. So we definitely go to games and have spectators there. So we're evaluating our policies. I think we said we were going to open the first month and really keep it as tight for health and safety as possible. So for the first month of athletics, for games that were played, especially indoor, at home, we said only families connected to players could come watch. Again, and we've with the intention of keeping all of our students and staff safe and healthy. But we are reevaluating, eager to come out to our community hopefully soon with some updated guidelines.
Yeah, remember the first game? We're like, let's have a tailgate.
Right.
We'll barbecue out behind the gym, and then we're like, oh, all right. Can we have people on campus? And what's really interesting too about that topic is that our school is now played in 4 counties, I think. I mean, we played in Glass, we played in Yolo, we played in Sac, so the rules are a little different from county to county too. So hey, we'll get information out there on how to get people out to some sporting events because it is joyful to watch our students excel out there. So that's great stuff. Hey, Batten, before I jump forward, are there any other questions, thoughts, or concerns in the form there?
I do have one that just popped in. Let me.
All right. No.
So let's see. I have my brand new to Westlake. My son is in ninth grade. He is so happy being there. It was virtual learning was a tough year, and he is excelling this year. Love the flex blocks and the clubs.
Whoever you are, we love you. Yeah, that's great. Welcome to Westlake Charter School. That's great stuff. That is great stuff. Yeah, we'd love to welcome new families. Maybe we'll get you on the coffee talk next month.
I think, Dr. It's from Tam. I think this may be a student who if it's Darren Broman's mom, I'm just calling his name out on YouTube. Sorry.
Just calling him out, man.
No, this student is we are so lucky to have all of our ninth graders on campus. Darren is a really fun student to interact with. He's just been such a tremendous joy to have on campus. So I'm sorry if I called out the wrong student. But
well, you know what? You sent me that slideshow of all the students running for student body president, vice president, all that, and just I love our students so much, man. That it almost kills me to watch an election because I'm like, oh, how could they all win? Can we make them all win? Because you just look through this slideshow of who's running for office, you go, those are the greatest group of kids, man. All right, well, we're proud of our kids. Hey, this is a great one. We talk about volunteerism and getting on campus. Mrs. Owens, this is kind of your wheelhouse, recruiting volunteerism and sports. Can you take this slide for us?
Of course, I'd love to. And speaking of just the sports program being so great, and we have loved watching it grow since it started. And so, but yeah, we are in need of basketball coaches and for the fall season. So it runs from October 11th through December 16th. And, we would love parent involvement in this and or family involvement. And the responsibilities are attend 2 practices or games a week. And they're in the afternoons after school, and teach their middle schoolers, 6th to 8th graders, basketball skills. So a coaching guide will also be provided. So if you don't have experience necessarily coaching, but you love the game, we love to have you. We want positive role models around our kids and just for our student athletes.
Yeah, I love this piece because for families that are new, the high school sports are coached by our paid coaches who go through a vetting process. But for the middle school, we really developed this whole middle school athletics program around this conversation of we demonstrate what's possible in school and community collaborate. So our parents come out as volunteers and coach in this intramural league. So, what did we end up with before, Ms. Batten? Maybe it was like 4 basketball teams, 4 boys teams and 4 girls teams. We created this intramural after school league, and you would coach one team if you're a parent, but everyone's kind of practicing at the same time, so you can kind of lean on each other and be like, hey coach, how did you run that one drill? So it's a really cool opportunity to be on campus working with kids, and our in fact, Coach Sterling, I think, will be out there in the afternoons helping our parents coach basketball, and Coach Sterling obviously is an employee here, but also is a basketball coach for the high school, so very exciting. Yeah, this is a cool volunteer opportunity. Are we also bringing in high school coaches, Mrs. Batten?
it looks like it. I think we are bringing high school coaches in, and I know our high school athletes are like, we want to go coach, and I think some of our athletic directors like, let's work a little bit longer on getting yourself ready to go. But they're ready to come in. We had a girls, talking about girls volleyball a lot tonight, but girls volleyball game at Indercom, and while I was sitting in the stands, I had 4 of our former students come down out of the stands and say, we're so sad you started a high school that we can't go to because they were juniors, but that they were interested in coming back and coaching. I think that's the dream, right? That we have our 8th graders who promoted from our school, and someday soon attending our high school, coming on to our middle school and coaching. So a great volunteer opportunity. I know for high school students right now that finding those volunteer opportunities is tough because many businesses that typically allow for that are not. And so 16 plus hours of volunteerism, and Mrs. Chavez writes a beautiful letter of recommendation for all coaches who successfully complete the program.
So this is a great opportunity, for families to volunteer. And as Ms. Batten was saying, contact Allison Chavez, and she'll give you the lay of the land of how it goes for volunteering and coaching. And I hope that we have many families want to volunteer for that. And yes, there's high school students that want to come back, and it's a great way to get our middle schoolers started too. For when going to Westlake High School, they already have a lot of the skills.
Yeah, I love this little athletic feeder program. Part of what I love about the intramural at the middle school is it's for everybody. Hey, if you've been playing AAU basketball for years and that's great. But if you've never played, hey, jump in. Let's get you skilled up. So by the time you get to freshman year, is this a sport that you might be able to try out for and do well at the high school. Yeah, super exciting. Let's see those families. In fact, families, if you're out there right now and you think you might have a basketball coach in your family, put their name and their phone number in the little link right now, and we'll call them up. Even if it's your spouse and they're not home tonight, they're like out doing. You just put their name and their phone number in the link, and we will call them up and say, hey, we got a deal for you. All right, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. Mrs. Kaya'u couldn't be here today because she's got a family situation she's off dealing with. But she asked me to kind of like riff through her slide. In October, it's anti-bully month or bully awareness month, and so we talk about how to be an upstander, right? How to stand up, be an observer, be an upstander. This year, maybe not everybody knows this, but we've increased our counseling staff here at the K-8, and we have a dedicated counselor at the high school. So where we used to have one counselor for 1,000 students, now we have 3 counselors, one at the high school and 2 at the elementary school. And we did that because, hey, after 18 months of pandemic school, it's probably a good idea to really have extra staffing here to focus on social emotional learning and awareness. And so we're really looking forward to the October launch of the anti-bullying month. But we know that with October break, October's a little shorter. So we've gone ahead and started. We've been in advisory classes. The principal, the student dean have already been visiting advisory classes. They had a really cool slideshow on, hey, what is bullying? What does harassment mean? Which don't sound like great topics to stand around and talk. Like, who's like, oh, why are we talking about this? But look, like the students have absolutely been just amazing with their reflective, the way they've been reflective, their inquiry, and really like asking just these great questions. Like, hey, so what you said was this. Does that apply to this? Oh, okay. I think I have a better understanding of what this all looks like. These are great and very developmentally appropriate conversations for our students. And so I'm just really glad that we've kind of launched it. Middle school first in these 2 weeks, and then we'll start trickling all the way down kindergarten through 8th grade, as well as up at the high school as we roll forward and into October. But I love this work. I do want to acknowledge that there is a button on the front of our website at westlakecharter.com. You kind of scroll down just to below the fold there, and it says report bullying. And that takes you right to a form, and that form sends an email directly to our dean and our principal. And I just want families to know that if you feel like your child is having an issue and the child's afraid to come in and say something to anybody, hey, jump on that form. Use that button, jump on that form, and let us help your student feel safe and secure at school. So just kind of excited about this month. I know it seems weird to be excited about anti-bullying, but I think it's a very appropriate conversation when you have 1,000 children in one spot. Heck, if you had 1,000 adults in one spot, I think it'd probably be appropriate to talk about as well. So that kind of brings us to the end of our info. Ms. Bannon, are there any questions out there that we can riff on in the forum?
So we did have a question just about any other upcoming sports at middle school. So are you okay if I just share the schedule?
Yeah.
So we will, following our October break, we'll have boys basketball and girls basketball starting, running through mid-December. Then in January, girls volleyball and boys volleyball will start and run through beginning of March. And then later in March, we'll have futsal and flag football. Those are co-ed.
Yeah. Futsal was such a hit last year. And I'm not gonna lie. A couple years ago, I didn't even know what it was. Futsal, what's that? Oh, the kids just love it. Mrs. Batten, it's also, I think, an appropriate time to acknowledge. Yes, we are launching Explore Athletics 6th through 8th grade. but we are also launching enrichments and clubs at the kindergarten through 8th grade. And part of enrichment and clubs this year actually involves some athletic opportunities for kindergarten through 5th grade, which was something our families asked for a few years back. Why is all the sports for the middle school, not for the little school? And it's really cool that we got some of that going on. So check out the Westlake Weekly. It comes out every Sunday night, and see those opportunities for our kids. Hey, it's been fun, you guys. Thanks for being here tonight. Ms. Owens, you think you might come back and jam on a coffee talk in the future sometime?
I'd love to.
Awesome.
This has been a great experience. Thank you for having me. And I just want to add a quick celebration towards the end that reminded me when you were talking about the anti-bullying. Our counselors are just amazing. And I love what our school, of course, I love our school, but I love what our school is doing with the social emotional learning piece. Because you're right, our kids haven't been at school for almost a whole year. And so I feel like sometimes they've lost those negotiating skills in the playground. And seeing a counselor or talking to somebody, it's really, really good and healthy to put perspective and remind them of all those things that we may have lost, like how to share, how to negotiate when somebody, it's just, so I just love what the school is doing with social emotional learning.
Yeah, thanks for the shout out on that. I talked to a first grade family today, and I said, hey, developmentally by first grade, we still are negotiating how to maneuver our body out on the playground. If we accidentally hit somebody in the face, when we say sorry, and but like your first grader only really went to school live in person for a couple of months last year. Your first grader might still be negotiating some things that they should have been figuring out in kindergarten. So hey, we all need to work together to bring our kids back onto campus and develop these social, emotional, and social skills that are required. So yeah, it's a great shout out. I love what our teaching staff, our counseling staff are all doing on that. All right, team. Anything else in the forum going once?
Something just popped up.
Well, I can stall for you.
Okay, let me just get there.
Okay. Yeah.
Just about the cost, enrichment having a cost associated with it. Will there be? So it looks
Great
like all of
question.
enrichment was cost, and then will there be any volunteer clubs after school?
Yeah, so both volunteer clubs are coming online as well. So if you want to be a parent volunteer in the club zone, that is coming out. We are starting out digital before we go live in person. So we'd still like to we had some fun digital clubs last year. Parents led through Zoom, some gaming clubs and some different things. So we will be doing that. And remember, with those enrichments, although we're bringing in outside vendors who charge for their services, every vendor to work at Westlake Charter School has to offer scholarships. So we say, you want to teach dance here? That's great. What do you charge? That's good. Hey, you have to offer scholarships or else you can't come play at Westlake Charter School, because we want everybody involved. So hey, if a cost is a factor, you reach out through the process in the Westlake Weekly, and we will make sure that those vendors work with us and with you. And don't be shy about it. We want every student involved in something every year. Just like you at the high school, Mrs. Batten, where you want every student in a club. We want every student, kindergarten through 8th grade, plugged into one of these cool opportunities. Okay? Hey, everybody out there in YouTube Landia, thank you so much to our amazing panelists here. Thank you for Coffee Talk. We appreciate all of you more than you possibly know. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, let's explore. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll tune out of YouTube right now by clicking this little button that says end right here. All right. Okay.